If places could speak, then this is a land that would have an epic story to tell. Mozambique, a country in southeastern Africa bordering the Indian Ocean, is a nation with a checkered history. A time traveler would tell of life under Portuguese rule, a decade-long civil war, devastating floods, and now a stable, beautiful land that boasts a blistering pace of economic growth. But as the economy expands, so too does the allure of urban living, and Mozambique is not exempt from the social challenges introduced by rapid urbanization. Informal settlements have sprung up in the country's cities, housing low-income dwellers with access to only the barest of amenities.
Most of the people, they don't have resources to build their own toilet. They do the evacuating outside. And during the rainy season, when they're doing that kind of evacuating, it mixes with water. And if it goes to borehole, people can drink that water without boiling it, and it gives cholera problem.
The provision of clean water and basic sanitation to the urban poor is regarded as a logical entry point to alleviating poverty and achieving most of the Millennium Development Goals. UN Habitat, under the Water for African Cities program, has partnered with local authorities in Mozambique to help achieve both national and global targets for water and sanitation.
We originally started off working on three principal areas. One was on water demand management, the second on protection of water resources from the impacts of urbanization, and the third area was dissemination and outreach. But that recently has, in the past 5 years, has been expanded to include other priority areas such as sanitation, monitoring, and specific focus on the urban poor.
The port of Beira is the second largest city in Mozambique. It is situated in Sofala province in the central part of the country. In the rainy season, floodwaters gushing down the storm drains meet the high tide coming in. The city floods, leading to diseases like cholera and malaria. This is Munhava, a low-income area of Beira that had previously seen little investment in water and sanitation infrastructure. The Water for African Cities program is working in this area to address these problems. 3 communal sanitation facilities have been constructed in the Munhava area and are being managed by the community.
2 members of our association take care of the facilities. Every user has to pay 2 meticash whether they live here or they are visitors. Some households pay on a monthly basis. They pay 30 meticash. We use this money to maintain the facility, to pay for electricity and water, and that's how we ensure sustainability for this intervention.
13 public water points have been built through the Water for African Cities program. This one is managed by Dorca Fernando, who lives close by. Through the program, Dorca has been trained in the effective management of the water standpoint.
When I first came to live here, we had no water and we used to buy it from our neighbor for 100 meticash per month. My family was growing and it was very expensive with my small income. Now we have the standpoints nearby and I manage this one, so water is more affordable. We pay half of what we used to pay, which makes a very big difference in our lives.
In Munhava, we see the participatory element of the program at work. Here, local communities not only participate actively in planning for new infrastructure, but they are also involved in the implementation stage. They supply the labor for construction, thus creating employment and fostering a real sense of ownership. The construction is part of a larger scheme to improve drainage throughout Beira. Half an hour's drive northwest of Beira lies the municipality of Dondo. A network of paved channels now traverses the town, created by the hands of freshly trained residents who have literally learned their trade right here in the trenches of Dondo.
I think by adopting participatory planning, by involving the neighborhood in the process, we are ensuring ownership of the project. Meaning that the activities belong to the community from the beginning and people get motivated and committed to participate in all interventions. This will also guarantee sustainability.
There is a tendency to always talk about gender at the strategic level without actual implementation. And this is where we think we've broken ground, because the approach we adopted was initially to have that strategic orientation, but then eventually to go down on the ground and ensure that for each of the projects that we implement, the people implementing ensured that they embedded these strategic elements in the project implementation.
In the beginning, there was some fear that women could not perform tasks perceived to be for men. But we are doing it, and we are committed to continue until the end of the project. I'm happy with this community labor approach, because if this work was given to a contractor, local women would have very little chance of being employed.
In the peri-urban settlement of Nyamainga within Dondo, 150 households have benefited from domestic water points and improved ecological latrines.
Before we had the domestic connection, it was very hard to get water. We used to walk long distances and carry water using buckets on top of our heads. It was really challenging. Now the situation has improved. We just wake up, open the tap, and we have lots of water of quality whenever we want.
The physical infrastructure stands as a proud testament that the Water for African Cities program is achieving its objectives. But bricks and mortar are just half of this story. There are important software issues that need to be addressed. Attitudinal change needs to take place alongside the construction process. In the Munyava neighborhood in Beira, Water for African Cities is being supported by community-based organizations who educate the community using captivating theatre-style activities that are brought right to the residents' doorstep.
We need help from everywhere, and we hope that UNABITAT has done their duty. And we are also going to do our own duty, is to talk to our people, to let them know their needs, to let them know what we are facing for the future, and to let them know that we want to achieve the Million God. And we can't do it alone. We can also do it if the people follow us, if the people work with us together, and if together we join and we do the best.
As African cities increasingly serve as engines of growth, the continent's population will continue to migrate to urban centers. The demands on governments to provide adequate sanitation and water supply will keep rising. Initiatives like the Water for African Cities program play a vital role in bridging the demand gap. But the real value of demonstration projects such as this lies in the capacity of governments and local authorities to upscale and replicate them. This will ensure sustainable access to proper sanitation and safe drinking water for Africa's urban poor, making a tangible impact on their lives and serving as a stepping stone to a brighter future.